In this video, we are diving into two of the most intense and challenging emotions, fear and anger. These powerful negative emotions can feel overwhelming and impossible to navigate. But what if I told you they carry hidden superpowers that you can unlock? Today, we will uncover how fear and anger arise, why they show up, and most importantly, how to transform them into strengths that empower you instead of holding you back. By the end of this video, you will not only have a deeper understanding of these two emotions, but also be equipped with a simple yet effective tool, the reset strategy, to shift them into your inner power. If this is your first time here, welcome to Case Calm Kit. This video is part 2 of our playlist How to Transform Negative Emotions into Superpowers. In part 1, we explored why negative emotions arise, uncovered 7 key reasons behind them, and shared actionable strategies to turn them into strengths. I will link that video in the description so you can check it out after this one. Now, let's dive into fear. Picture this. You are standing in front of a room full of colleagues, about to deliver a presentation. Suddenly, fear creeps in like a whisper. What if I mess up? What if they judge me? Your palms start to sweat, your heart races, and your mind spins out of control. Maybe you rehearse every word obsessively, trying to perfect it, or you procrastinate, hoping the moment will somehow disappear. Sounds familiar? Even with all the preparation in the world, fear has a way of clinging to you, doesn't it? It sows seeds of doubt. Am I good enough? What if this goes horribly wrong? We've all been there. But here's the thing. Fear isn't your enemy. To transform it, we first need to understand it. So let's break it down. Let's see how fear manifests physically. When fear kicks in, your body shifts into survival mode, triggering the fight or flight response. You may notice a racing heart or tightness in your chest, tense or trembling muscles, shallow breathing or those familiar butterflies in your stomach, cold hands and feet as blood flows to your vital organs. Sweaty palms or heightened alertness make every sound or movement seem amplified. How fear manifests psychologically. Fear also messes with your mind, playing a highlight reel of worst-case scenarios. It shows up as overthinking and indecision, leaving you stuck in what if I make the wrong choice, avoidance behaviors to dodge potential failure, negative self-talk convincing you that you are not capable or ready. Finally, fear stirs up a storm of emotions such as anxiety and dread, helplessness and panic, insecurity and nervousness. Now, think about a time you stood on the edge of a life-changing decision, pursuing your passion, leaving a toxic situation, or stepping into the unknown. Fear showed up, uninvited, whispering, what if you fail? What if it all falls apart? That hesitation you felt, that was fear trying to protect you. Does this resonate with you? Can you recall a moment when fear held you back or overwhelmed you? If so, I would love to hear your story. Drop it in the comments below. Now let's see the true nature of fear, a protector with limits. Fear is a survival mechanism hardwired into your biology. Its job to alert you to potential danger and keep you safe. When fear shows up, it's essentially saying, pay attention, something unfamiliar or uncertain lies ahead. But here is the catch. Fear doesn't always get it right. It can tell the difference between a real threat and an imagined one. Fear clings to what is familiar, not because it's the best option, but because it feels predictable. Even when the familiar no longer serves you, fear whispers, stay here. It is safer than stepping into the unknown. The problem is that fear operates on outdated information. It bases its warnings on past experiences, inherited beliefs, and what you've been conditioned to see as dangerous. In doing so, fear only shows you one side of the story, what could go wrong, while ignoring the possibilities of what could go right. Think back to a time when you hesitated to act on something important. Whether it was chasing a dream, setting a boundary, or making a big change. That hesitation, that was fear saying, stay where it's safe, don't take the risk. While fear's intention is to protect you, its methods often hold you back. It paints vivid, exaggerated pictures of failure, rejection, or loss, making it hard to see the opportunities waiting on the other side of that risk. Over time, this creates a pattern of avoidance, keeping you stuck in situations, habits, or mindsets that no longer reflect who you are or what you truly want. Fear doesn't just stop you from taking risks, it builds a ceiling over your potential. It convinces you that you are not capable, that you are not ready, and that staying safe is better than stepping into the unknown. But here is the truth. Fear isn't just a warning. It is also a signal that you are standing at the edge of your comfort zone. Fear arises whenever you are about to grow. When fear shows up, it's asking a question. Are you ready for this? It highlights the areas in your life where you feel uncertain, unprepared, or vulnerable. And these are the very areas where transformation begins. Fear points to the spaces where you have the chance to stretch your limits, develop new strengths, and rewrite old stories. Instead of seeing fear as an obstacle, what if you view it as a guide? What if fear wasn't here to stop you, but to challenge you, to remind you that the unknown is where potential lives? When fear arises, it is not just trying to keep you safe. It's showing you where your next step lies. It's telling you that you are on the brink of something new, something bigger. You don't have to let fear control you. Instead, let it remind you to trust yourself, embrace the uncertainty, and take that step forward even if the path ahead isn't crystal clear. Fear and faith are two sides of the same coin, both triggered by the unknown but pulling you in completely opposite directions. While fear keeps you focused on what could go wrong, faith shifts your attention to what can go right. Here is the key. Faith isn't about eliminating fear. It's not the absence of doubt or worry. Instead, faith is the courage to act despite fear. It's the choice to move forward even when the path ahead is uncertain. Faith thrives on trust in your abilities, trust in the process, and trust in the possibilities that lies beyond your comfort zone. Where fear wants you to stay stuck, faith takes the same energy and channels it into action, courage, and confidence. When you embrace faith, something powerful happens. Fear stops being a roadblock and transforms into a guide. Fear shows you where you feel uncertain or vulnerable. Faith helps you step into that space with curiosity and determination. Faith says, even if I don't have all the answers, I trust myself to figure it out. Even if I'm scared, I will take the next step anyway. Even if things don't go perfectly, I will learn and grow from the experience. It's not about dismissing fear, it's about reframing it. Faith allows you to acknowledge the fear, but choose a different story. It invites you to approach challenges with an open mind and to see uncertainty as an opportunity, not a threat. Think about a moment when you faced a decision that scared you. Maybe it was pursuing a dream, having a tough conversation, or making a big life change. Fear likely whispered, what if you fail? What if this goes wrong? But if you pushed through, it wasn't because the fear magically disappeared. It was because you tapped into faith. Faith gave you the strength to say, I'm scared, but I will try anyway. It helped you take that first shaky step, and as you moved forward, fear began to lose its grip. Each small act of courage built momentum, and suddenly what once felt impossible became manageable. Faith is the antidote to fear, because it empowers you to act in the face of uncertainty. It reminds you that you don't need a guarantee to move forward. You just need the willingness to take one step at a time. When you lean into faith, you unlock your potential to grow, learn, and expand. Fear's voice may never go silent, but with faith, it no longer controls the narrative. Instead of running from fear, you embrace it as a signal, I'm about to grow. So the next time fear creeps in, ask yourself, what if I trust myself instead? What if this fear is pointing me towards something greater? Faith is your superpower, a quiet, steady strength that turns fear into fuel for growth. It's not about the absence of fear. It's about finding the courage to act because you trust in the possibilities ahead. How to reset fear into faith? When fear takes hold, it's easy to feel stuck, paralyzed by the unknown. But fear doesn't have to control you. By using the reset method, you can transform fear into faith step by step. Let's break it down. R. Recognize the fear. The first step to transformation is awareness. Pause, breathe, and acknowledge the fear. Don't resist it or push it away. Instead, name it and own it. Ask yourself, what am I feeling? Where in my body do I feel it? What is this fear trying to tell me? Remember, you can't change what you don't own. Simply recognizing fear shifts you from a reactive state to a place of awareness. And that's the first step toward reclaiming your power. E stands for explore the fear's trigger. Once you've acknowledged the fear, dig deeper. Ask yourself, what is causing this reaction? What situation, thought, or belief triggered it? What story am I telling myself about the future? Fear thrives on exaggerated what-if scenarios. For example, if you are afraid of quitting your job, fear might say, if I leave, I will lose everything. I will end up homeless and alone. Recognize these stories for what they are, outdated beliefs or projections from your past trying to protect you. This step helps you uncover the root of your fear so you can see it clearly. S stands for shift the perspective. Fear paints a picture of worst-case scenarios, but you have the power to rewrite the narrative. Challenge your fears by asking empowering questions. Instead of what if I fail, ask what can I do to succeed. Instead of what if it all goes wrong, ask how can I make it go right. Instead of I can't, ask how can I make this possible. Reframing fear shifts your focus from problems to possibilities. With curiosity and optimism, you can transform fear into a tool for growth. E stands for embrace faith. Faith is the antidote to fear. It doesn't require guarantees, it only asks for trust. When you embrace faith, you remind yourself, I don't need all the answers, I just need to take the next step. This fear is a signal that I'm stepping into growth. Fear is just an opinion, not a life sentence. I have the power to change it. Faith allows you to see fear as a companion, not an enemy. It helps you take the energy of fear and turn it into courage, trust, and forward motion. T. Take action. Action is the ultimate fear dissolver. When you take even a small step forward, you have shown yourself that you can navigate the unknown. Each step builds trust in your ability to handle uncertainty. Ask yourself, what is one small, manageable action I can take right now? How can I move forward with curiosity instead of fear? Remember, it's not about achieving a perfect outcome. It's about showing up and trying. The way you define fear determines whether it limits you or empowers you. Is this fear dangerous or is it an invitation to something exciting? Fear doesn't have to hold you back. With the reset method, you can transform fear into faith, step into the unknown, and create space for growth. It's not about eliminating fear. It's about learning to walk with it. Every moment of fear is an opportunity to choose courage, clarity, and trust. When you let faith lead the way, fear becomes a guide, showing you where to grow. So the next time fear whispers, stay where it's safe, remind yourself, I can take one small step forward. I trust myself to handle whatever comes next. Fear and faith taught us the power of trusting the unknown and taking the next step forward. But what happens when the emotions you are dealing with aren't rooted in self-doubt, but in frustration or hurt? That's where anger comes in. Let's dive into this fiery emotion together and uncover the superpower of clarity hidden within it. Imagine this. You are in a conversation with someone and they say something that hits a nerve. Anger sweeps over you, fast and furious, like a tidal wave. Your face flushes, your fists clench, and your mind races. How dare they say that? What gives them the right to treat me like this? The instinct is almost primal. Defend, react, make them feel your frustration. Maybe you snap back, your words sharper than intended, or perhaps you go silent, shutting down completely in an attempt to suppress the storm within. And then the aftermath hits. You are left wondering, why do I keep letting this happen? Why does it feel so out of control? We've all been there, haven't we? That moment when anger feels like the only way to protect ourselves, to make sense of the hurt, the disrespect, or the injustice. But here's the thing, anger isn't the problem. The problem is when anger takes the reins and leads us to act impulsively. To transform anger into clarity, we first need to understand how it works and why it feels so overpowering. How anger manifests physically. Anger sets off the body's fight or flight response, releasing adrenaline and cortisol. the hormones of survival. It's like your body is preparing for battle, even when no physical danger is present. You might feel a tightness in your chest, like the walls are closing in. Heat surging through your body as if you were about to boil over. Your fists clenching or hands trembling, ready to act. Your jaws tightening, teeth gritting as you hold back words or emotions. This physical energy is your body's way of saying, I need to defend myself. But the intensity can leave you feeling trapped, as if there is no other way out except to fight or explode. Psychologically, when anger takes over, it clouds your mind like a storm. It narrows your focus to the trigger, making it hard to see anything else. Your thoughts race, driven by your need to justify your feelings or assign blame. You may notice a strong sense of injustice, as though you've been wronged and someone needs to pay. A flood of negative thoughts like I'm being disrespected, they don't care about me, or I have to defend myself. An overwhelming urge to fix the situation immediately, even if it means reacting impulsively. Difficulty listening or reasoning as your mind loops through self-justification. In these moments, anger convinces you that the only solution is to act now, but this urgency often leads to regret later. Emotionally, beneath the surface of anger, there is often a deeper story. Unmet needs, unspoken expectations, or past hurts bubble into the surface. On the outside, anger looks like frustration or rage, but on the inside, it's often fueled by emotions like hurt, feeling unvalidated, unseen, or disrespected, fear, worry about being rejected, ignored, or misunderstood, disappointment, especially when someone crosses your boundaries or fails to meet your expectations, frustration when things feel out of your control or unfair. Anger is rarely about the surface trigger. It's a signal that something deeper needs your attention. A boundary that is being crossed, a fear that has been awakened, or a need that has gone unmet. Anger is like fire. It can destroy or it can illuminate, depending on how you handle it. The key is slowing down, understanding its source, and using its energy to gain clarity instead of losing control. Have you felt this before? A moment when anger overwhelmed you and you struggled to stay grounded? Share your experience in the comments. I would love to hear how you've navigated these fury moments, because together we can turn anger from a destructive force into a tool for empowerment. Now let's see the true nature of anger. A signal for action. Anger at its core is a messenger, a signal that something deeply important to you feels threatened. It could be your sense of respect, your values, your sense of fairness, or even your personal boundaries. When anger arises, it's your mind and body shouting, "Pay attention, something isn't right." But here's the tricky part. Anger doesn't always point directly to the root cause. Often it's a reaction to a perceived threat, one that may not fully align with reality. For example, you might feel disrespected by a comment, but beneath the surface it could stem from a past wound, an unmet expectation, or an unspoken need. Anger is like a flashing light on your emotional dashboard. It alerts you, but it doesn't necessarily diagnose the problem. And while anger is often labeled as a destructive emotion, it's actually a powerful force for change, if you know how to use it. It's your inner compass highlighting moments when something in your life feels out of alignment. It's a reminder that your boundaries have been crossed, your voice hasn't been heard, or an injustice needs addressing. But why anger feels so urgent? Anger has a way of turning everything into an emergency. It magnifies the present moment, making it feel overwhelming and deeply personal. It whispers or shouts, "This has to be fixed right now." But in truth, not every situation needs an immediate reaction. Anger's urgency can blind you to the bigger picture, keeping you locked in the present frustration instead of stepping back to see what is really going on. Anger doesn't distinguish between a minor misunderstanding and a core violation. It reacts with the same intensity. That's why it's crucial to pause, breathe, and decipher the message it's trying to send. Ask yourself, what am I really feeling threatened by right now? Is this about the current moment, or am I carrying something from the past into this situation? What do I truly need to resolve this? By slowing down, you can turn anger from a reactive force into a proactive guide. Unprocessed anger can keep you stuck in a cycle of frustration and resentment. it becomes a wall preventing you from moving forward, connecting with others, or even understanding yourself. When anger isn't acknowledged or channeled, it can show up in harmful ways. It might cause you to lash out at loved ones, pushing them away when what you really want is to feel heard. It might keep you replaying the same arguments in your mind, fueling a sense of injustice instead of resolution. It might stop you from confronting the deeper issue, leading to avoidance, disconnection, or self-sabotage. Think back to a time when anger controlled your response, an argument, a moment of betrayal, or even a passing comment that hit too close to home. How did it feel in the moment? And how did it feel afterward? Chances are, the longer you stayed in that anger, the more distant you became from understanding yourself or resolving the situation. While anger's intention is to protect, its approach often isolates. It creates division where you might be seeking connection. It drives a wedge between you and the people you care about, or even between you and your goals. And once the storm clears, it can leave behind regret. Regret for the words spoken in haste, the actions taken in frustration, or the relationships hurt along the way. So here's the shift. Instead of viewing anger as an enemy, see it as a teacher. When anger arises, it's an opportunity to examine what is out of alignment in your life. Is it a boundary that needs to be reinforced? An expectation that needs to be communicated? A hurt that needs healing? By addressing anger instead of letting it simmer or explode, you open the door to growth. You can have the difficult conversations you've been avoiding. You can set the boundaries that feel uncomfortable but necessary. And you can start to comfort the deeper frustrations that are holding you back. Anger doesn't have to be a barrier. With awareness, it can become a bridge to better understanding, stronger relationships, and a clearer sense of what truly matters to you. Anger holds a profound, often overlooked message. It arises when something within you is unresolved, a signal that your internal compass is pointing towards an area that needs attention. When someone's words or actions trigger you, it's not just about the external event. It's a reflection of something deeper within you. Anger asks you, what do I truly value? What boundaries need protecting? What aspects of myself have I yet to fully define or defend? Think of anger as a mirror. It doesn't show you the other person's flaws, it shows your own unexamined beliefs, unmet needs, and unspoken values. The trigger is never the real issue. It's merely an invitation to dig deeper, to explore the hidden corners of yourself that need clarity. The discomfort of anger is a signal that something important inside you is calling for attention. Anger isn't just about feeling wronged or attacked. It's a wake-up call, urging you to take action. It's a sign that you've reached a crossroads and must choose whether to stay stuck in frustration or move forward into greater self-awareness. It invites you to question, what is not working here, and how can I make things right? At the heart of it, anger is not merely about what happened in the moment. It's a reflection of your values, beliefs, and boundaries being compromised. It's a moment of reckoning, pointing to areas in your life that need to shift, grow, or evolve. When you can get to the root of your anger, you will uncover the things that truly matter to you. It's like a compass, showing you where change is needed and guiding you toward the alignment you seek. The superpower hidden within anger is clarity. While anger draws your focus to what is wrong and creates urgency, clarity helps you understand why the anger arose in the first place and show you what steps to take. Clarity transforms anger from a storm into a beacon of direction, helping you identify what needs to shift and how you can proceed with purpose and intention. Clarity doesn't demand that you stay in the intensity of the moment. It gives you the power to pause, breathe, and step back, allowing you to see the situation from a place of balance, not reactivity. It's the ability to find a center amidst chaos and to decide what is truly important. With clarity, you can assess the situation objectively, choosing a course of action that aligns with your deepest values and needs. On the other side of anger also lies empathy. While anger pushes you to defend and react, empathy invites you to pause and listen. Anger isolates you, but empathy and clarity bring you back to connection. Instead of seeing the other person as the enemy, empathy opens the door to understanding. It's the ability to ask, what might this person be experiencing? What is their perspective? What is driving their behavior? Empathy allows you to see beyond your own hurt or frustration, enabling you to understand the humanity of the other person. It transforms the energy of anger from a barrier into a bridge. You no longer see the other as the source of your pain, but as a fellow human being deserving of understanding and compassion. When you embrace clarity and empathy, anger ceases to be a force of distraction. It becomes a powerful tool for self-discovery and deeper connection. It's not about suppressing or ignoring the anger. It's about using it as a catalyst for insight, learning, and transformation. Instead of letting anger control you, you take control of it, turning it into a guide that shows you what is really important and how to move forward with wisdom. Anger may have the power to burn, but with clarity and empathy, it can also illuminate the path toward deeper understanding, healthier boundaries, and more meaningful connections. Now, how to reset anger into clarity? R. Recognize the anger. The first step in transforming anger is to acknowledge it fully. Don't try to suppress it or brush it aside. Own it. By naming the emotion, you claim your power over it. Anger is not who you are. You are the observer, not its prisoner. Recognizing anger gives you the space to respond consciously rather than react impulsively. It's about seeing the emotion for what it is, an indicator of something deeper that needs attention. The moment you acknowledge it, you begin to shift from being controlled by anger to understanding it, empowering yourself in the process. E. Explore the anger's trigger. Take a moment to get curious about the source of your anger. What set you off? What triggered this response? Was it a person, a situation, or something within yourself? Ask what boundaries has been crossed, what expectations was not met. Dive deeper into the layers. Is this anger rooted in a current event, or does it connect to an old wound? Ask yourself questions like, what do I feel am I losing here? Or what do I need from the situation to feel safe? Understanding the root cause of your anger will give you insight into what is truly at stake. It could be that you feel unheard, disrespected, or taken advantage of. By uncovering these deeper reasons, you will gain clarity on what really matters and what needs to be addressed. S. Shift the perspective. Once you've identified the core of your anger, be intentional in shifting how you engage with it. Instead of lashing out or dwelling on blame, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? What do I need in this moment? Rather than staying stuck in reactivity, look for solutions. Try to reframe the situation with fresh eyes. Anger often arises during interactions with others, and it's easy to feel justified in defending yourself. But a crucial shift happens when you take a step back. Ask, what might the other person be going through? What is their perspective? Shift from defensiveness to curiosity. Replace the thought, how dare they, with questions like, why are they reacting this way? What might they be trying to suppress? Seek to understand their perspective, not to excuse their behaviors, but to gain clarity on how you can move forward constructively. E. Embrace clarity. In moments of anger, remind yourself that the emotion is offering you a window into what needs to change. Tell yourself, I don't need to act on this anger right now. I just need to listen to what is trying to show me. Clarity emerges when you pause and breathe. It's about giving yourself the space to understand rather than react. When dealing with someone else's anger or frustration, empathy becomes the antidote. Reframe your thinking with phrases like, I don't need to defend myself. I need to understand. This person may be struggling too, and their actions are not a personal attack. I can honor my feelings while respecting theirs. Empathy allows you to hold space for both your own emotions and theirs. You don't have to agree with the other person, but you can respect where they are coming from. Through empathy, you create a path for clarity to emerge, shifting your perspective from conflict to connection. T. Take action. With clarity in hand, it's time to take purposeful, conscious action. Whether it's setting a boundary, initiating a difficult conversation, or letting go of the need to control the situation, trust that clarity will guide you. Moving forward from a place of awareness allows you to act in alignment with your values and needs. Taking action in response to anger means transforming the impulsive urge to lash out or withdraw into thoughtful, intentional response. It's about setting boundaries calmly, communicating assertively, and engaging with the situation in a way that respects both your emotions and the other person's. Approach the situation with an open heart and aim to resolve the issue with compassion, respect, and a focus on connection, not conflict. Anger doesn't have to be destructive. When you recognize its deeper message and use it as a tool for gaining clarity, it becomes a powerful ally in your journey towards self-empowerment. By owning the reset method, you can transform anger into a catalyst for insight, understanding, and growth. Rather than letting anger control you, you take control of it, using it to create a path forward filled with purpose and intention. Fear and guilt are two of the most powerful and overwhelming emotions we can experience. They have a way of taking control, hijacking our thoughts, and keeping us stuck. But here's the thing, they are not here to punish us. They are actually trying to protect us, to grab our attention, and to wake us up. The more we understand them, the more we can see their deeper purpose. These emotions are signals, not sentences. Now that you've got the reset framework in your tool belt, you can approach these emotions differently. Instead of letting fear and anger dictate your responses, you can use them as catalysts for growth and transformation. You can harness their energy, shifting them from limiting beliefs into powerful superpowers that guide you towards self-awareness, empowerment, and aligned action. Fear can become faith. Anger can turn into clarity, and both can feel alive on your own terms, where circumstances no longer control your state of being because you are in charge of how you respond. So I challenge you, apply the reset framework to your daily life. Start noticing when fear or anger arise and use this method to shift your emotional energy. Reflect on how these emotions can guide you toward deeper growth and self-awareness. Trust me, they are here for your transformation, not your destruction. Thank you for tuning into this episode. I hope you found value in the reset process and are excited to use it in your journey. In the next video, we will dive deep into guilt and shame, what they teach us, and how we can turn them into superpowers too. Until then, take care and remember, reset your fear into faith and your anger into clarity and empathy. You've got the power to transform your emotions and create the life you deserve. Much love, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.